Hey, what's going on? This is Thomas Galdenzi, and on this edition of Combat Sports Coverage, me and my guests are going to break down UFC 235, featuring two UFC title fights on that pay-per-view. And one of them is one of the biggest stars in the sport, Jon Jones. Well, he'll be fighting Anthony Smith for the UFC 205-pound. Also on that card, we'll see Tyron Woodley defending his belt against Kamaru Usman at 175 pounds. Also on the stacked UFC card, we'll see fighters like Tecia Torres, Diego Sanchez, Ben Askren, Cody Garbrandt, Robbie Lawler, and so many more. So tune into this UFC pay-per-view. And my special guests with me are professional fighter Gary, the Lone Star Rockstar Harling.
What up?
And in studio we have Jeremy, the Rock Little.
What's happening?
So guys, we're all here today to talk UFC 235. And I want to know what's your guys' picks for the main event, where we see Jon Jones taking on Anthony Smith. Who do you have, Gary?
Man, I have to go with Jon Jones. I'm a fan all around, and I mean, I don't think Anthony Smith has really earned his stripes to be getting this title shot. I think it's just lack of option. But yeah, I'm going Jon Jones.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also think Jon Jones is going to smash Anthony Smith. Don't get me wrong. I do like Anthony Smith. I like his style. He's a banger. He goes forward. But Jon Jones is too crafty, too talented, and he's been in the main event too many times, and he should probably get the finish. But what about you, Jeremy? What's your thoughts on that main event?
Well, I guess I'm going to be the odd man out on this one because I got to go with Smith on this one. I mean, people he's fought in the past, I mean, they're no joke. I mean, you got Rashad, you got Shogun. I mean, they're no joke. We knocked him out in the first round. So, I mean, Smith, I think also that Jones is going to be maybe overlooking him because, I mean, like Gary said, maybe it's just lack of options. So, you might just be looking towards the next fight and just looking over Anthony Smith. But with all of that, you also have to remember that Jon Jones knocked out those same people when they were in their prime. So, and that is true. Yeah. They're still dangerous. Doesn't matter if they're prime or not. They're still dangerous, and they're very skilled and veterans and all the things.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an amazing fight. I can't wait to see it. I do think Anthony Smith does have a good chance, kind of like what Jeremy was saying. He's been fighting studs, and Jon Jones hasn't really fought a young, up-and-coming lion. But so let's get our predictions for this fight. I am going with Jon Jones, most likely by finish. What about you, Gary?
I'm going to say finish, too. Maybe second or third. I just don't think that Smith's going to stand all five, and I don't think it'll go all five.
And then what about you, The Rock Little?
I'll have to go in the fourth. I think Smith's been taking the fourth.
And can you repeat that again? You kind of cut out just a little bit. Just rephrase that one more time.
I think Smith's going to take it in the fourth.
So you have Anthony Smith by the fourth round finish?
Yes, sir.
With what, a TKO or submission?
I'm going to go with TKO on this one.
Ooh, I like it. An odd man out. I like that. If you're a betting favorite, if you are better, if you like to do sport bets, Anthony Smith is actually a plus 600, which is crazy. So that means if you bet $100 on Anthony Smith to win the fight, you would win $600 profit plus another $100 back. So you would win your money back plus 600 profit. So, Jeremy, if you're feeling lucky, you should definitely go to the betus.com and maybe place some bets.
I'm definitely doing it.
And then so we'll also see what you guys have. What's your guys' picks for the second title on this event, which is a co-main event between Tyron Woodley versus Kamaru Usman for the UFC 170-pound belt title. What's your pick for this, Jeremy?
I got to go with Woodley. I mean, to me, Usman's like more of a point fighter, and Woodley's more of a finisher.
I would agree on that. What about you, Gary?
Yeah, definitely going Woodley. I think he showed in his last fight with Till that he is no joke, and he don't have to go all 5 rounds. He'll put you to sleep before that if he needs to. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Kamaru Usman, he got rushed a little bit too early. This fight should have been Kobe Covington, who should have got the title, who has the interim belt. But Kobe wasn't ready because he had an injury. So they're like, well, Dana White was basically like, well, fuck you, Kobe. We're just putting Kamaru Usman in here then. Which Kamaru Usman is a stud. He's on I believe a 6 or 7 fight win streak, and he kind of deserves the title, but he's not ready. I think Tyrone Woodley is a better version of Kamaru Usman, and I think he's going to stuff Kamar's takedowns, and Tyrone's going to get the TKO late in the 4th.
I think I might be going to the second round finish for Woodley.
So Jeremy, The Rock Little has a second round victory for Woodley. What about you, Jeremy? What about you, Gary?
I'm not. I think for some reason he's gonna. He might go to the 4th, maybe the 5th. I think he's gonna go back to the same slow, boring Woodley. Even though I want him to show up like straight up Rockstar like he did with Till, but I feel like he's just gonna point this guy to death.
Yeah, and that is a big caution for me too. I could see that fight being boring because I feel like they both are going to be very cautious, scared against each other. So that fight will be good. But so I guess across the board we all have Woodley.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's go on to the next fight, which a lot of people are definitely interested in, when we have Robbie Lawler taking on a champ of many different organizations, champ of Bellator, former champ of Bellator, former champ of ONE FC, Ben Askren, who I like to call the human blanket. He's not the best. Actually, he's pretty trash on the feet. I'm pretty sure we could all outstrike him, but do not let that guy get a hold of you. In college, when he was one of the best wrestlers, he had his own funky style, and they would call him Funky Askren, because he does a lot of crazy stuff out there on the mats, and I feel like that's all he's going to do to Robbie. I feel like he's going to take Robbie down and not submit him, but just take him down, smother him, be a blanket for 15 minutes, and then win by decision. But I hope the ruthless one, Robbie, can get a TKO win or a knockout. But if I was a betting man, which I am, I definitely think Ben Askren was going to win this fight by decision. But what's your thoughts on this, Gary?
I'm a big Lawler fan, but I'm ready to see the funky one fight in the UFC. I think he's kicked ass everywhere else, and honestly, I think Robbie Lawler is getting sold because he's just not the same champion that he was. I think that Lawler I think he's past his time. I think he'll be looking for Bellator soon. But I'd have to say Askren. I think UFC's got to introduce the world to Askren. So.
And what makes you think that Robbie might be past his prime?
I just think, watching him. Can you name the last really good fight that he was in? Aside from what's his name that just went to Bellator? Oh man, they had the 2 fights.
Roy McDonald.
Yeah, Roy McDonald. I think that's the most really good fight we've had with him. The other ones are good.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you too. I feel like Robbie hasn't been the same, and that's another reason why I feel like he's going to lose this fight. What about you, Jeremy? What's your thoughts on this fight?
As much as I like Robbie Lawler, I have to go with Ben on this one. Robbie's coming off of he had some time off, and we had a hard loss to Tyron Woodley. I just don't think that he's the thing Robbie is we know and love. But I do hope he wins, but I just got to give it to Ben. I'm undefeated, and he's just a beast wherever he goes.
I agree on that. I believe that. So, is everyone picked for Ben Askren?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay, so everyone's basically, me and Gary's picks are all the same down the line, and then Jeremy's The Rock Little so far is the only one who has a different pick for the main event, where he is going with the challenger, Anthony Smith. Why me and the Rockstar are going with the champ. But now we'll keep moving forward on this card, and we'll go on to see Tisha Torres versus some crazy Asian girl's name I can't even try to pronounce because I don't speak that, and I don't want to butcher it. But yeah, I definitely think Tisha Torres is going to smash her. Asians typically, fighters from Asia typically don't do too well in the UFC, and Tisha Torres is definitely one of the top 5 best female strawweights in the world, and I think she's going to smash this girl and get a TKO in the 3rd round, if not decision. But what's your thoughts on this one, Jeremy?
I got to go with Zhang on this one. I mean, I've been watching her fights, and she's patient, and she's very strong. Nothing against Tisha Torres. She's strong too. But I think that Zhang is just going to be more patient in her, not rush anything, take her shots. I think he's just going to pick her apart.
And you said, you kind of cut out a little bit, but you said Zhang was big?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is big, and she will have some size. Tisha's pretty stocky, but she's not that long. Why Zhang is also pretty long too. She's a big girl for the weight, yep. And she can bang. And Tisha likes to bang, but I think Tisha's wrestling might be a little bit too. Which is what's going to be the factor, the difference. But what about you, Gary? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Torres. I've been watching her since I think she's gonna take this one. And she's due up for a big finish anyways, I believe. So.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see her get another big fight up there. And then, so now let's go over what fights, like besides these main card fights, even though, what fight are you guys really looking forward to on this card that maybe other people aren't talking about, but in your mind you're like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to see this fight. We'll start with you, Gary.
You know, I'm excited to see the veteran beat the shit out of Mickey Gall. So I want to see Diego Sanchez take Mickey Gall down. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be scary because Gall is so freakishly hard. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Sanchez. I think that's your boy too, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, exactly. That's funny because that was going to be my pick. So now I got to think of something on the fly. But yeah, I definitely agree. That's definitely one of my fights I was keeping an eye on. I love Diego Sanchez from Ultimate Fighter Season 1, the first real winner of the Ultimate Fighter. Everyone always thinks it's Forrest Griffin, but actually Diego Sanchez won it before him, like a couple hours before that. So I like Diego. He's a man. Exactly, and I hope he smashes Mickey Gall too. Mickey Gall's okay, but I think Mickey Gall might actually beat him. I think Mickey Gall is going to be too big and too well rounded. But I would love to see the Nightmare Diego get a win. And then for that fight, I would pick Mickey Gall. What about you, Gary? Who do you have picked for that one?
Man, I'm gonna stick old school. I think we've seen Diego pull rabbits out of his ass, so I'm sure that. Sure, it'll be a good one. They're not going to feed a veteran to some young cat, so I think this is a good match. So.
And then what about you, Jeremy?
They're not ranked top 10, so I think that's a plus for it. So
that is true. That's a good point. And then what about you, Jeremy? What are you thinking about that fight? Who's your pick for that fight?
This is actually one of the ones I'm really looking forward to. I'm most excited about. But I got to go with Diego Sanchez because that man, he is not afraid to get hit, and he wants to win at any cost. I mean, Mickey Gall's good, but I think Diego Sanchez is just going to pressure him too much. It's just going to overpower him.
Yeah, I definitely about Diego. He definitely has, I like to call it, he fights like a Mexican, and that's not in a mean way. That's a positive thing. Mexicans, man, good Mexican boxers, they can fight. They take punches. They always move forward, and that's kind of what Diego does. I just think Diego is going to honestly just be too small, and just he's going to walk into a submission. I see it. I don't know. Maybe not, though. That's funny. Both y'all have this one different than me, so that's always good for the betting game that we play here at Combat Sports Coverage, where we track each other's bets throughout these games, so we will figure out who really, at the end of the year, who really does know the most. Yeah, y'all know what fight I'm actually looking really forward to is to see Cody Garbrandt step back into the ring. I wonder if he still has what he used to have. He is a former champion, but ever since he lost his belt, he's never been the same fighter. He does still have a solid record as 11-2. But his opponent also has a good record, Pedro Munoz, who's 17-3. But I do believe Cody Garbrandt will get the TKO. If not, he'll get the win and hopefully move on to bigger and better fights. But what's your guys' picks for the Cody Garbrandt fight? I'll start with you, Gary.
Well, I see the same thing. I see that he's not the same. Even his Instagram, nothing about him is the same after he got humbled by TJ. But I think that I hope that he comes back after this. I would have to go with Cody Garbrandt on this, but I also note that I believe if he loses, this is going to be one of those see you later, buddies.
That is a great point.
He's ranked number 2 right now, but he's not the same, man. His Instagram's not the same. You don't post the same. It's just not.
Yeah, he's like a different person now ever since he's been losing. And what about you, Jeremy? What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, Cody. I mean, I've always liked Cody. He's just an incredible fighter. I mean, I'm interested to see how he does come back after the 2 devastating losses he had to Dillashaw. I mean, he did take some time off. I mean, he had a kid while he was off, and if you look at his press conference and all that, like when he's talking with Pedro, he seems more mature. He's not as angry. He's not as feisty. But it just seems like more mature, more collected, and just maybe he's going to keep going instead of just rushing in and trying to get the knockout shot. Maybe he's actually going to use his technique and use his footwork and get the win.
Yeah, for Cody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Yeah, he rushes in too much. He needs to use his technique more. And then another fight I would definitely like to keep my eyes on, a fighter is Jeremy Stevens. He always brings fun fights to the action. But my actually combat sports coverage most likely will be prospect of the year. Johnny Walker is stepping in on like weeks or 2 weeks notice to fight Mircea Cernikov, who's like one of the top ranked light heavyweights, and Johnny Walker is a star to be made. That kid can dance better than your boy Tom, which is shocking. He has a solid body, and the dude can fight like an animal. What's your guys' thoughts on Johnny Walker, starting with you, Jeremy?
The guy is just amazing. I mean, he's just made a name for himself already, and it's just rising. And I see great potential, and I can see him being champion in the future.
Agree. And what about you, Gary?
You have no idea how excited I am. Like, both my nipples cut last night. You totally just surprised me when you told me that he picked up the fight, because I love the dude. I think he's just the right amount of cocky that's really gonna.
Agreed.
He's gonna bring fire, and I think he's gonna skip steps, and it's gonna be like shoots and ladders. He's going straight to the top, and I think that he's gonna give Jones a run for his money, because Walker is probably I think he's Connor's out, and I think that the person that's going to bring that old school Connor mentality that everybody's trying to have is going to be Walker.
Yeah, and he has that swag about him, man. He's just so confident. And he has the same length. He's the same length as John Jones, which is really not many guys are. And he's built like a tank, you know. And so I really do feel like he could definitely dethrone John Jones down the future.
I feel his athleticism is what's going to give Jones a run for his money. Because, we all know Justin Ledet, and Justin ain't no joke, and Walker just breathes.
Oh, shout out to Justin Ledet, a former guest of Combat Sports Coverage. Make sure to check out those interviews we have out there. Sorry to cut you off, Gary, but go on.
Yeah. Like I was saying, Justin ain't no joke, and like a hometown hero over here, and for Walker to it seemed like he just barely nicked him, but I guess all that power right there just kind of brought him down. I don't know.
In his last fight.
Yeah, hopefully, I want to see him come back. I think he'll come back stronger. But anyways, I'm gonna go with Walker because I'm a little fanboy right now. So I really think Walker.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with Walker also. So I definitely can't wait to see this fight card. It's going to be an amazing fight card. I can't wait to hopefully win some money on some of these good underdogs. Wait. What's that? We have breaking news, everybody. Guys, we have breaking news. Combat Sports Covers has breaking news that Gary, the Lone Star Rockstar, is stepping into the cage. And take the mic, Gary.
Yeah, man, I took a year off, and I wanted to find myself. I took a lot of fights that I shouldn't have taken. More because I thought my promoter was hooking me up, and and all that. Nothing bad to say about him, but I'm not being fed this time. I waited for the right one, and who better to do it with than the WFC fighting for World Fighting Championships. I'm gonna step in at heavyweight and fight like a lightweight. So I think it's gonna be great. I'm gonna really have a blast. So.
And tell everybody when it is and who you're fighting.
March 21st, and it's actually coming up really soon. And the dude's not that important, so I'm not gonna give him any airtime. So yeah, well, just check me out on my Instagram or my Facebook at lonestar.rockstar, and just follow it from there. I got t-shirts available. I got everything, so find me. Let's go.
Yeah, ooh, you're getting me chills. I can't wait to see you go out there and give this man a beatdown. We all know here at Combat Sports Coverage, Gary, that you love to throw down, and your opponent seems like he loves to throw down. So I can guarantee everybody it's a fight they're definitely going to want to tune into, and someone will probably be getting finished, and it definitely won't be the Rockstar. How do you feel about that news, Jeremy?
I think it's amazing. I'm very excited. And I already got goosebumps. I'm very excited. I can't stop smiling. I'm just thinking really getting that W. Woo!
Woo! Yeah, buddy. You know, and we have all trained together out of Champions MMA, and Jeremy, you can contest. Gary has that power. How do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah. He helped me out with my training camp and everything, and he gave me a run for my money. I mean, he's nobody to be messed with. It's kind of like bugs me still this day. When he's punching in the face, he will smile at you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the same thing about me, man. When I hold pads for him, man, there's not many heavyweights that I know that can hit as well. They can all hit hard, but definitely not as fast as Gary. You definitely got that speed, man, and I can't wait to see you go out there and get that W that you deserve.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Like I said, that year off, man, you take time to find yourself. And when I thought I was going to retire because I thought I was old, things got better. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait.
Yeah, make sure fans
this weekend.
Yeah, we don't want to give fans too much. Oh yeah, he's actually training this weekend, baby. I can't wait. Hey. But hey, I don't want to give the fans too much because we will be doing an interview coming up soon with just Gary himself, talking about his training camp and getting ready for his upcoming fight here shortly. It's going to be a great fight. But this is Combat Sports Coverage pre-fight interview show over UFC 235. And I'm Thomas Galdenzi.
I'm the Lone Star Rockstar, bitches. I'm Jeremy J. Rock Little. Let's do it.
And thank you guys for tuning in. And please hit that like and subscribe button below.